Birds propel, eagles don't propel. We said, hooka, 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 hooka.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and we back with another one. I took the day off yesterday. I hope you don't mind, but I'm back and we about to get it cooking. So today I wanted to talk about the first quarter of the season, is, you know, where we passed the first quarter. Let's look at these rookies. Let's look at this draft. I know it's still early, but I want to grade them and see how they've been doing so far, who has a chance to be even better. All right, so let's get right into it. The first round pick, everybody's going to have an opinion on this. I feel like with this whole list, everybody's going to have a different opinion. But Jalen Reagor looks like he can be a star. You know, maybe I'm being a homer saying that, but, you know, he only had 8 targets in his first 2 games combined. He's caught 5 of them. He's had 96 yards, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. His average is around 19 yards. I mean, when given the chance, he's shown that he can be a starter, if not a star, like I said. He's a good pick. He's not, you know, I know a lot of Eagles fans are watching Justin Jefferson out there, you know, recording back-to-back 100-yard games. You're seeing, you know, CD Lamb having good games. You're seeing a lot of these rookies out there, and they're being productive and producing big numbers. But look, Jalen Reagor obviously has been hurt, but we need to get our whole offense right now. It's not just, you know, looking at his numbers saying why is he not getting 100 yards every game. You know, when he first started, our offensive line was very, you know, makeshift. So looking forward, I look forward to him being, you know, very impactful for the Eagles. Now, these next 2 picks, I'm going to kind of lump them together. Obviously, they're 2 totally different positions, but the usage and the thought behind the pick. So obviously we have Jalen Hurts. I can maybe count on my hand how many Eagle fans are actually okay with this pick or even happy about this pick. Jalen Hurts just makes no sense, and we're not using him. When we do use him, like I did do that video showing, you know, how he takes, you know, pressure off of our offensive weapons. But we're not using him enough. You know, I think he had 3 touches in that game against the Rams. I think he had 1 touch in Washington. You know, we need to get him the ball more often. He's got, I want to say, a 5-yard running average. I think, you know, again, like I said, it's only 5 carries. I think he's around 30 yards or something like that. But when he has the ball in his hand, you see that he has the potential to make big plays. So we need to get him the ball more often. So I can't say this is obviously a home run pick. This is maybe like a walk. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, hopefully he can keep on, you know, getting more touches and getting more acclimated in the offense. And if he becomes a very good gadget player, then, you know, maybe, or if we get a first round pick down the road from him, then maybe this makes more sense. But right now, you know, if I had to give Jalen Hurts a letter grade, I'd have to honestly go D. It still makes no sense. I could go all the way down to F, but, you know, D is if he becomes a decent gadget player for us. So that's where I have him. Now, the next person is Davion Taylor. Davion Taylor needs to see the field. A lot like, you know, Jalen Hurts in a sense, just because he's not being used. But Davion Taylor has great speed, and even if he isn't great, he cannot be any worse than what Nathan Gerry is giving us. I don't know if, you know, Davion Taylor has been working more on the outside. That's fine. We need to figure something out to get Nathan Gerry off of the field, because he has been killing us. And Jim Schwartz makes it seem like he's not killing us, or, you know, it's not all his fault. It's not all his fault. I won't, you know, not every single play is his fault, but most of it is his fault. We need to get Nathan Gerry off of that field. Davion Taylor has the speed. He's, you know, hopefully good coverage. We haven't seen enough from him to say that he's, you know, going to be a great starter for us. But like I said, he can't be any worse than Nathan Gerry. Now, potential-wise, I think he has potential to be good. You know, looking at his tape in college and looking at his combine numbers, you see that you see that he has potential to be a good player. But we haven't seen it on the field. So this, I'm going to have to give it a D+, just because I think he has potential. If they put him on the field, that can rise very quickly. You know, that can rise very quickly, or it can fall. But I want to see him on the field. Now, these 2 next players, these two, they have shown, they have gotten a little bit of play time. I think Kvonn Wallace deserves more. Jack Driscoll, I think, deserves more. He's just kind of in an unfortunate position that he's a right tackle, and you're not taking Lane off the field. And it looks like they, are going with Jordan Mailata going forward, which he did great. But when Jack Driscoll was in, he did a very good job. He did a phenomenal job, in my opinion. I don't think he's a tier 1 starter right now, but he's a very good swing tackle at the very least right now. And to be, he was a 4th round pick. He was our second 4th round pick after Kvonn. You can't ask much more out of that. He's a good spot starter, and he has potential to become great if he can continue to kind of perfect his craft, and we'll see where he goes from here. I think he has a lot of potential to be great, so I love that pick. The Kvonn Wallace pick, another person that I think has a lot of potential to be a great player. You know what I'm saying? So and he obviously showed that he can kind of keep up with Kittle. Kittle kind of, tossed him around a little bit, but he does that to everybody. But he was step for step with him on most of those routes. He wasn't missing too many tackles, which is a problem with our defense. He did miss a tackle, but it is what it is. It was his first game. I think for his first game, it was very, a very nice thing to see him doing so well. So those two together, I'm gonna give that a B-. Okay, now I think, like I said, I think they have potential to be very good. So that can rise, or I can be wrong and that can fall. So those both I'm going to give B-. Now, the next couple people, you got John Hightower, Shaun Bradley, and you got Quez Watkins, all right? These guys, I love them. I love Quez Watkins. I love John Hightower. A lot of Eagles fans are clamoring to get Shaun Bradley out on the field, which we'll see. We will see. Like I said, nobody can really be much worse than what Nathan Gary is putting out on that field. So if Shaun Bradley is the answer, Shaun Bradley is the answer. So we'll see, but he has not gotten that opportunity yet. John Hightower, however, on the other hand, has gotten that opportunity. He's been out there. I've been very solid in my statement that I feel he runs really good routes. He's just not as strong at the catch point as I would like him to be. He's going to see more reps, especially with Alshon out. We'll see what D-Jax is, with the whole circumstance, what happens game time, if they put him in or not. But he's going to see, increased reps. Jalen's out. We lost all of our wide receivers. So it's going to be him and most likely Greg Ward that are going to be seeing an uptick in catches. Quez Watkins, another person that is going to be coming back from injury. That's another person that I'm looking forward to seeing an uptick in his catches, in his targets at the very least. So I would love to see what he does with the ball in his hands. We saw Travis Fulgham come from really absolutely nowhere, and he's made a name for himself in Philly. He's kind of a goat to Philly fans for that one play, but it's awesome. So, but I do think Quez Watkins has a very, very special skill set that we have to take advantage of. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Now, these next two people, Prince Tega, I was very high on him when he first came out. I'm not going to lie. I loved Prince Tega's film. I think he's very raw, but I think he has, again, a lot of potential, So, Prince Tega, he hasn't done anything. So I can't sit here and defend him. It is what it is. It's not a wasted pick yet, but, it's looking like he's not going to be doing much this year. Now, on the other spectrum, the whole other polar opposite side, you have Casey Toohil, 7th round pick, Mr. number 233. When he first made the roster, I obviously was, making a little, I made a post about it on Instagram. People were surprised. He was awesome and he liked it and everything. But that's crazy. As a 7th round pick, especially a defensive lineman, to make it on this roster with the defensive lineman that we have. And he has gotten a little bit of playing time. He has made a little bit of buzz. He hasn't made any big plays. But, for him to get on this field, like I said, with the depth of linemen that we have, is just incredible. It's impressive, and it's very, very, it makes you hopeful for the future, especially on this defensive line, because you have Fletcher Cox that's not getting any younger. You have other guys that's not getting any younger. He is a defensive end, but hopefully he can take over for Brandon Graham maybe in the future or something like that. Even if he's just a rotational piece, I think that it's awesome to have somebody that was a 7th round pick that fought all these guys and made it to the roster. We also have a bunch of undrafted free agents that, made it to the roster. So I didn't want to go over the undrafted free agents. I think that could be its own video. So if that's something you guys want me to go over, please do let me know in the comments. But as far as the whole draft, I'm going to go like a C+. And C+ even I think is a little bit of a homer statement. But I'm going to go C+ because I do see a lot of potential in these guys. Like I said, this is just after 4 games. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you think. What grade would you give them after 4 games? Other than that, let's go. You know what time it is. Fly, Eagles, fly. We out here. Peace.